Look at all of you guys already in the chat room talking to everyone. I am so happy you guys are here. I'm Mandy Blissett with Bloomhouse, and we are ready to get started on our Ombre box. I want to first tell you guys a few things coming up. We have a special guest in house. We've got Mark Thomas with Mark Thomas Pro Photo doing a little commercial about our workshops for us today. Really, really excited about that. So we actually have a special opportunity for all of you guys. If you would like a chance to possibly be in our commercial, we would love for you guys to send a little video testimonial of you and your creation after we do it today, and just tell us what you like about the workshop and how it's made this quarantine and isolation a little bit better or brightened your day. If you can stand in front of like sunlight and have your phone vertical or horizontal, not vertical. So this is the best way to take the video, horizontal. And then you can just email that over to us at events@bloom-house.com for a chance to be featured in our commercial. And then we also have something new that you guys are the first to hear about, a little contest we're having. It's called Design the Box. So for those of you in San Antonio and beyond who have been getting your boxes or your kits delivered, you're getting our beautiful Bloomhouse box. And the very first thing my kids asked when we got them in was, can we color it? So we thought that was the coolest idea. So we're gonna have a little contest on the best design on our Bloomhouse box. So a couple parameters on that. The logo has to be seen, and you're gonna use the hashtag #BHDesignTheBox. So hashtag the box, post and tag it, and we're gonna run this through Mother's Day. The week after Mother's Day, my team is going to pick out the 5 best ones, and we're going to let you guys vote on the absolute best. So just a little something fun and creative during this time we thought would be really fun for you guys. So that's BH Design the Box for the Design the Box Challenge. All right, let's get started on our workshop. So let's go through what you've got. Hopefully you have your shears or good scissors. If you like the shears that we're using because they cut through like butter, then you can buy them on our website on the Our Favorite Things tab. It takes you to like our little Amazon favorite things. So these are amazing, and it was so fun seeing so many of you last week with pictures with your shears that you had gotten. You should have a knife or a kitchen knife so we can cut our oasis. Your oasis should be pre-soaked with water, so it's ready to go. You should have your vase, and then your bundle. Hopefully you've been hydrating them so they're nice and fresh. I'm gonna get my little towel. I've seen many of you guys protecting your tables, which is a wonderful idea. If you want to put down, some people use parchment paper or just paper towels to protect your nice wood tables. That's always a great idea too. So let's prep our box first. We're gonna put our box in front of us. And again, this is not a perfect square. So we're gonna take the flat side this time, so long and low. And we're gonna press it down just to get a little impression, right like that. And yes, you're gonna drip, and that's okay. That means that your oasis is nice and full. So now we're gonna set it down, and we're gonna cut along just inside those impression lines. So if you cut it a little bit smaller, that's okay. My kid's favorite part. Cut all the way down, straight down. If you get like that, that's okay. Just keep cutting. Perfect. And it does not have to be like flush or anything like that. Just enough so it fits in. All right. And we're gonna put it inside our box. Right like that. Go ahead and discard all of your other oasis pieces. If you're dripping on the side of your box, that's okay. You can always wipe it up later. All right, so our isis is nice and in there. Let's put this to the side because we have a lot of cleaning up to do of our flowers today because you've got a lot of flowers in here. This is probably the biggest bundle we've had in our workshop so far. Let's go ahead and unbind it if you haven't already, or get them out of your water. And we're going to separate them all out by color. And we're going to clean up all of our flowers before we get started. So let's separate out by color. So you should have white or a blushy color. Sometimes these white, oh my goodness, I forgot the name of them. But these ones can sometimes come in a blush color. Then you have your lavenders, and don't worry, these have really rough guard petals. That's normal, that's natural. We're gonna clean them up so that you can see their big, beautiful faces. Then you're going to have your light pink, and then you've got your hot pink. And that's the main part of our ombre. And actually, we're doing it this way. Purple, hot pink, light pink, white. Now we've got our, so this little wispy guy has a couple of names. In-house, we call it German status. It's called, in the flower world, they call it linoleum, like the flooring. And it is a cousin to your dark purple status. This is the larger version. This is the misty spray. Now this dark purple status feels like it's dry. It feels like it's a dried flower, but it's not. This is how it is normally. It's like tissue paper. And if you rub on it, you hear it, it sounds like tissue paper. That's how it is normally. And the coolest thing about this is it will dry exactly the way it is. So after your other flowers have gone kaput, take these guys out and put them in another vase and they will dry perfectly as is. Same thing with this stuff. But as this stuff ages, the linoleum, it gets a little stinky. So it's up to you if you want to have that or not. Then you have your hypericum berries. And this is the coolest color I've seen in a long time of hypericum, the deep coral pink colors. All right, so now we've got everybody separated out in front of us. Let's start on cleaning everything up. So let's start with our roses because that's gonna take the longest time. We are, and I lost my clippers somewhere in there. This is going to be one of the tighter arrangements that we've made in a while. So we're going to only, we're not going to worry about cleaning up our entire stem. We're going to actually make small little piles of shorter stems of these. So if you have on your stem, you've got some really low guys like this and some that are clustered up here like that. So this little guy, you can still use him. So we're going to snip him off right where he connects to the larger stem, right like that. That way you get the longest part of him. If he came off with a leaf, just go ahead and clean him off and discard. And now we're gonna make the rest of them about 6 inches long, 6 to 7 inches long. It's always better to cut longer than, because you can cut them shorter later. So 6 to 8 inches. If after you're cutting, you've got some leaves still up here, go ahead and clean those off because they'll just get in the way. These little tiny wispies, those don't matter so much. If you want something a little bit cleaner, you're not gonna see any of those. So go ahead and snip all of your purple roses into 6 to 8 inches. Discarding any leftover leaves and the longer stem. All right. Give y'all a few more minutes. So you should have a nice little pile of shorter stems. So like I said, these light purple spray roses, the lavender, are really harsh. Again, these guys came directly from the farm. We didn't process anything. So you have the full florist experience. We're going to now take off the guard petals, and those are the petals that are damaged around the outside. They're there to guard the rest of the rose from getting completely damaged. And this is a normal part of the process that a florist goes through in cleaning up their roses. So when you pull them off, you want to go down all the way to the bottom and pull him off cleanly. Okay, we don't want like half broken blooms or petals. So like, let's see if I can purposely do it the wrong way. So can you see now he looks just torn? We want to take him off completely. So go all the way down to the bottom of the calyx and pull him off cleanly. Now this green part here is the calyx of a rose, and that's what the bud formed in. If they're damaged, like this little guy, he looks a little brown and creased. So we're going to go ahead and peel him off cleanly, just like that as well. If they're just down and not damaged, you don't have to worry about it. Some people like a more clean look, but I like a little bit more natural of a look. So these guys are going to need a little bit more cleaning up than the other roses, and that's just because of the variety that they are. Some of them will be damaged fully and you can't use them. That's okay. You've got plenty of roses here, so don't worry about it. If you've taken my other classes, you will know I've taught you how to open your roses. Now, unfortunately, these guys, we can't spin, really. That doesn't really work. But the blowing in them will still work a little bit. So you can make them open a little bit more. Right like that. The super bud ones will open up more later. You can also still put your finger in there gently and pull your rose open a little bit. Do it gently. You can kind of feel when it's had enough and before it breaks. You can help open him up. This doesn't damage the flower. It doesn't shorten his life. It just lets you enjoy his beautiful face a little bit longer. So these are the ones that are going to need the most cleaning up. Go ahead and take a few moments to do that. For those of you who've already seen the May basket for next week online, we are doing something extra special with that. The May 1st, there's a tradition in the United States of leaving flowers on the doorstep of someone that you love or care for. And it's called a May Day basket. So we're doing our own little version of that. While it's not a basket exactly, we are going to encourage everyone to do the same and leave their creation on the doorstep of someone they love. And we're going to include a little enclosure card for you to write a note and just help spread joy, send joy, spread smiles, and brighten up someone else's day. And we have a discount code for anybody who wants to participate in that workshop. It's 20 May Day, so 20% off the May Day workshop. And we're really, really excited about that one. I don't have the prototype back in the shop, but towards the end, I'll show you a picture of it from our website. And then, of course, Mother's Day is coming up, and we have that workshop up, and we'll have photos of that maybe over the weekend or by Monday. All right. Nice and cleaned up. Perfect. Next, we're going to do this to all of our roses. We're going to make nice little piles of them. Okay? So you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Make sure when you're cutting at an angle again. If anything bent or broke, that's okay. Again, you've got lots of flowers here to choose from. I want to show you guys this guy. He's got a tiny little stem right there, and he would not be enough to kind of use in our arrangement, but the sisters that he's connected to would be. So we can cut the first part down here above where this tiny little guy connects. We're going to cut him at an angle. So now he has a long enough stem that we can still use both of them. We'll just cut him down here like we would normally. And the reason why we like to get everything cleaned up in the beginning is so when we start designing, we don't have to stop our train of thought to clean up roses or clean up our flowers. That way, when once we're actually designing, we're in full just design mode. These hot pink ones are huge. This is a huge variety. And they actually don't need a whole lot of cleaning up, which is beautiful. They almost have kind of a garden rose type feel to them. Perfect. Now, so we've got our light purple, we've got our hot pink. Now we'll go on to our light pink. Did anybody get their candy, get candy in their workshop this time? What did y'all think of the candy last week? It's actually our in-house favorite, the Tamalitos. We just can't stop eating it around here. So same thing with this guy. We've got these little ones and then this long middle section. So I'm gonna cut him here so I can still use these guys appropriately. If you have random ones like this, again, go ahead and snip them off. You can use all of it. I've also been seeing your guys' creations with your leftovers, and I thought those were so stinking clever. Some people use their smaller Easter vase or their mint vase from several weeks ago, and I thought that was so creative of you guys. Awesome. We're actually also in the process of designing a survey for you guys so we can figure out what you're liking, what more you want to see. So those are our light pink. I know the light is really bright. And then last we're gonna, Karen, do you mind turning on the music for me? I appreciate that. Awesome. Forgot to turn on the music today. And these white ones turned out pretty good too. And as you're designing, you can also blow them open. You don't have to do all the blowing open today or right now while we're cleaning everybody up. They're having technical difficulties on the Sonos system. Awesome. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to finish cleaning up your roses. And you can kind of already see how the ombre is coming along. Right there. Where? Oh, I guess I don't have my candy out. My favorite Tom Leo's flavor is actually the pineapple. I'll take that one too. Sweet, thank you, Mark. Good assistant there. Although the watermelon is the best seller, this guy got damaged when we opened him. I'm not sad about it. Now that means I can eat him. Because the tangy and sweet, but honestly, my favorite's the pineapple. I know Dawn likes the cucumber. That one was her favorite. Very cool. All right, let's go and clean up our fillers. So these are hypericum berries, again, where you don't need to worry about cleaning up these leaves because we're not going to use them. Go ahead and snip him about 6 to 8 inches long. Go ahead and discard that. Now your leaves up here, make sure you take them off right at the base of the stem because they're kind of some of your stems are going to have tighter clusters. So you've got like this top cluster and then these little lower branches. If they're really short like this guy is, we're just going to use them all together. However, if you've got longer ones, any broken stems like this, that's fine. Just clip them off. It's all very normal, natural, and part of the shipping process from the farms to us. So I'm going to clean them up so you can see what I'm talking about. So if you have a branch that is like this, where he's longer, let's get a second use out of these lower guys. So you can snip him right here in the middle. So you've got now 2 stems of hypericum berries you can use. Make sure to clean them all up. These tiny little leaves up here, you can leave those. Those are a natural part of the decor of the berry. And while they still have a woody stem, they actually need a lot of water. They don't like being out of water for any length of time, much like your hydrangeas from previous workshops. We actually have hydrangeas in next week's workshop too. So now we've got a nice little small cluster of hypericum berries. We'll set those to the side. I just love these guys. They're the coolest texture. Next, we're going to do our wispy linoleum or German status. He's got a lot of stuff down here that we're not going to use. So as you're making your 6 to 8 inch cuts, you can just take off those erroneous pieces because they're going to get in the way of designing later. If you have, you're going to want to cut these to where the branches that you have are all about the same height. So this guy, when I'm putting him together, he's a little bit lower than the rest. That's a judgment call on you if you want to keep him or not. I probably will until I actually start using him and see if he can really be used then or not. Curious, for those that have taken our workshop before, did you like having the link in your instructions versus waiting for the link to be emailed to you? Did that make you feel better? Was it easier to get to? Let us know in the chat function or send us a message on Instagram or email. We're going to go ahead and clean up all of these guys. So we've got a nice little pile of white German status. And the cool thing, German status comes in all sorts of different colors, especially this wispy stuff. It comes in a really light lavender color. It can come in pink. And did you know that they make spray paint for flowers? We use that, especially in design work, not so much in retail, to help clients get the exact shade that they're looking for. Or if there's a variety of flower that's comes in different colors and different times of the year, we can help them get exactly what they're looking for at different times of the year. So if we wanted this to be a different color, we could just add a little color to it and make it, we can make it gold, we can make it rose gold, we can do blue, any color you can think of, we can make it. I think it comes in yellow too. So now we've got our little pile of germ status. And then the last part we're going to clean up is our larger regular status. And this is the most popular color that comes in, this deep dark purple color. Again, just some little 6 to 8 inch cuts. And these don't have any cleaning up to do unless anything is broken. And you have a lot of this. There's no way we're going to use all of it, but go ahead and make a nice little pile of it. We wanted to make sure that you had plenty to go in there. All right. We've got a nice little trash pile over there now. Perfect. All right. Give Noah just a few more minutes to finish cutting and cleaning. And we're going to put our vase in front of us. There we go. Alrighty, so we're going to put it straight in front of us. Actually, a little variation, if you ever wanted to try this on your own, you could turn your vase sideways and do your ombre vase this way. But for our purposes today, we're going to do it straight up and down. So if you've done other workshops with us, we've always kind of worked with a strategy on tackling our arrangements. And we do this on purpose for the particular stems that we're working with, or how the design is coming together. So in this particular one, we're going to work from the middle out. So we're going to start with our hot pink roses. And we're going to put these, we're going to think of our box in kind of quadrants. So, and in rows. So these first two are going to go just off of center. So your hot pink, so we're in the center here, go just a half an inch at the most over to the side. And this is what's going to be the top, the tallest point of our arrangement. And we want him to be proportional to the vase that we're in. We don't want something that is like super tall, because A, you're not gonna have enough flowers, and there just went a few off the table. You're not gonna have enough flowers. And B, it's not gonna be proportional to your vase. If you have a super big arrangement, and this is traditional designing, not like what we did a few weeks ago, but if you have this huge arrangement and this tiny little vase, it can look a little odd. If you have this tiny little arrangement and a large vase, it's also gonna look odd. So we wanna be proportional to the vase that we're in. Also, a side note, if Oasis is a little different than just putting flowers in a vase. If you don't like where you put it, or you put it in too low and you want him to be a little bit taller, then you need to take him completely out and make a new hole in your Oasis, because it acts as the water source. So if you take him out, so if you made a hole and you take him out a little bit, now he doesn't have contact with that water source and he can go limp faster. So we always want to make sure that he has strong contact to the water source. And for these, when we're making our new cuts, we definitely want to make sure we're at an angle. And there's several reasons for that. A, it's so we're not crushing our Oasis, that we're kind of sliding through it like a knife. And second, it allows for a larger surface area of the stem to draw up more water. So just off of center, and then we have 4 of these overall. We have overall 4 stems. So we're going to think about evenly spacing them by 4s. So a little off from center and a little forward by about 1/2 inch. And we're gonna go straight down. Okay? And I'm using the ones that are clustered first because the ones that are individual stems can go in and fill in next. So next little cluster, I'm gonna come just off of center, a little bit towards me by about 1/2 inch, again, straight up and down. So in our vase height is 4 inches. We want to be about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches tall here. So that's what the top looks like as of right now. If you have more clusters, we're going to start filling in. Now this is the interesting part. So we don't want our arrangement to be boxy. We want it to be dome-like. So I just turned mine sideways so I can see my dome a little bit better. My next cluster, if you have any more clusters, I'm going to do a little bit shorter. And we're going to come down to the end here, and we're going to angle it at about a 30 to 45 degree angle and go in sideways, keeping in line with what you did. And this one is going to be shorter, but angled. Okay, and now we're going to do that here on this side too. If you don't have any more clusters, you can use your individuals to do the same exact thing. Cut them a little bit shorter, go in at an angle. And sometimes pushing on your stem is not enough. You need to get your fingers right down in there and push in with the oasis. So now you can kind of see we've got this little bit of a dome shape. Okay, now this is where your individual creativity is going to take shape. So you can see that we've got a little bit fuller right here, and then up here it's not quite as full. So we're going to take our individual ones and fill in to make a solid line. Sometimes standing up above your arrangement is going to be helpful so you can really see where things are going. So a lot more like that. Don't feel like you have to use all of them. All right. Next, we're going to use our hypericum berries. And this is going to go straight in the middle, kind of in along with our spray roses that we've already got, and a little bit out. Our music just randomly started working. Thanks, girls. So we're going to nestle these in any place that we see like a little bit of a hole. Like see, I've got a little bit one there. That's okay. And a little bit here. And so we're going to put those straight up and down because this is going to bridge the gap between this one and the light pink. Again, you want these to all follow along the same height. You don't want these guys sticking up like this because that's distracting in our arrangement. Now, this guy is too bushy, so I'm going to pull these guys off and just discard because they're going to be too low in my arrangement. Actually, I'm going to do that with this one too. And that's a personal choice that you're making on doing that. So, you nestle those guys right in there. And then we'll have one slightly lower down here at an angle again. And then this guy, I could use him all, but he's going to be way too big for what I'm needing, so I'm going to pull down his lower ones too. Turn you around so you can see the angle. Actually, I'll show you guys this way. A little bit of an angle going in like that. So this is my view from the top. It's okay to have a little bit of a hole if you're okay with that. I've got a little extra one I'll put in here. All right. All right. Everybody satisfied with how their lines are coming so far? Next, we're going to do our light pink roses, and we're going to start in the same fashion. We're going to go a little over. We're going to start just in front of and just behind center. We're going to start with our clusters. And the next one over to that. I'm going to show you the top. Again, everybody is nice in line. Nobody is like erroneously sticking up. Okay. And then you want a few that are down low. Well, we want to go all the way to where our stem, our blooms are kind of hiding the top of our vase here. We call it hiding the magic. So we don't want to see any oasis. And the reason why we're starting from the middle is to make sure that we didn't put too many of our purple or our white and then didn't have enough room for our middles. And then also it's easier to get, if you need to get your fingers down into the oasis, you actually have room to do that now. Versus when you get out to the sides, you'll be able to still get to that. If you ended up putting a lot more of the hot pink than you did light pink, it's okay. It's how everybody's own stuff is going to be shaping up. And if you have some extras, don't worry. Again, you can use them for your fun stuff, or at the end, we can thread in a few of our extras anywhere you might see a little hole. Everybody good with their hot pink and their light pink? All right, let's go and work on our purple side now. I'm going to turn them around this way because that's how I think of my ombre. So this one, we're going to combine our purple German status and our pink spray roses. So again, get a nice little cluster. We're going to start. Now these, we're going to do at an angle versus the straight up and down because we don't have any more room to go straight up and down. So we need to do these at a little bit of an angle. We're going to start in the middle. And this first one, we're only angling about 10 to 20 degrees. So it's nestled up still to that hot pink. And as we come down lower, we'll angle it more. I got one tall hot pink, but that's okay. So after we do just our one cluster, we're going to add in a touch of the German status. And this is a really beautiful texture to your arrangement. And as you can see, some of them have really long blooms, and we're going to work with that. So I'm going to turn him this way so he kind of wraps over the arrangement versus like this and be sticking out erroneously, because the whole point is to have a dome shape. We want to always have that when we're thinking about our arrangement, the dome shape in mind. All right, so thread in there nicely, and if you can kind of see and peek into your stems where you're going into the oasis to make sure you've got a good little block. So right like that. And you can do about 2 or 3 in this location here, depending on how many blooms you just put in, because we're going to build our texture as we're filling this out. If when you're putting it in, you can't put it in anymore, you're running into another stem in your oasis, just take him out, do a slightly different angle, and we'll weasel him in there. So that's what we're going for so far. Okay. Go ahead and continue doing that first little line of your spray roses. If you still have any imperfections in your purple spray roses, this German status also helps to kind of distract from it. So you get to see the color, but not necessarily any of the damage. And again, you want, as you come down to the sides, you want to angle him more. Now this guy, my German status, he's a really, really big piece, and he's got one down here. You can actually pull off some of these little branches, little blooms, to make a smaller little cluster if you want, because sometimes they can be a little overwhelming. Awesome. All right. So you've got this first little line here, but as you can see, we can still see our stems and we can still see the side of our vase. So we're going to take more and do kind of another little line, and this is going to be the dramatic angle, okay? And these will probably be a little bit shorter. And this is going to be the toughest part of your arrangement, is finding your way in between your stems that are already in there and getting him down into the oasis at this more extreme angle. And make sure you kind of alternate the spray roses with your with your regular status. And if you don't get your stems super far into the oasis, that's okay. You just have to be more diligent in watering them. Some of our status is budding out a little bit more. And so it's got a little touch of white, which I think is really fun. It's an actual little more texture in there. One more little bloom to complete the hiding the magic. Here you go. So all the way down to the bottom of your vase. Next, we're going to do the same thing with the whites on this side and our white German status. And take our clusters first. Start in the top, and then we'll alternate some of our wispy German status. This is probably the most technical arrangement we've made. So I enjoy sharing this one with you guys. Now be careful, again, if you break this, because he is so tender, you're going to break the water source. However, this stuff dries just the way it looks, just like his brother or sister. So even if he doesn't have a water source and he quote unquote dries out, he's going to look exactly the same. He's not going to brown or color or anything like that. So if you bend him when you're putting him in, you're going to be just fine. I know whenever I feel when I'm putting things into Oasis and they break, my heart breaks a little bit. Oh, I'm so sorry. So go ahead and do your first line all the way over to the bottom of your front. There you go. And then finish over here. Making sure to add your German status the whole way. And the whole point of the ombre, yes, we could have done it with just roses, but having these fun little textures throughout, I feel is what really makes it so attractive. Make sure you angle him when you get to the bottoms so we can see his beautiful face. All right, now just like we did with the purples, we still have a little bit of magic to hide right there with a second little row. So take your last little pieces and kind of just thread them in there, especially in the middle section. Adding a touch of the status. And if you like this status stuff as much as I do, you can put it throughout your whole arrangement. Yay! So that is your ombre. Now, if you have any erroneous little holes, like I've got a little hole right there, and I actually have one spray rose, so in that color. So I've got a little bit I can hide right in there. This is just, it's kind of like proofreading your arrangement. We always take a look at things when they're finally done, is overall making sure we don't have any last little petals. Oh, let's see that guy. He moved. So we want to, again, edit. There we go. Make sure everything is beautiful and perfect and where he should be. I could probably add a little German status down there too. There's so many arrangements that I could just tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak. At some point you have to say, this is beautiful the way it is. I'm gonna get a little hole right there I can fill in. Beautiful. So this is your ombre arrangement. Yay! And I promised you guys I was going to show you the May Day basket. Let me pull that up real quick. Since I wasn't lucky enough to have it in the shop with me still. Let's see. Focus. Well, that's not going to work. It's too bright. I wonder if I can lower my brightness. There you go. And it's already up on our website, and it's this beautiful French style tin. And again, we're gonna encourage you guys to participate in the May Day tradition of spreading joy, sending joy, spreading smiles by sharing your arrangement with somebody you love. And the discount code again is 20 May Day. Also, don't forget to let your kids or you guys color your boxes and share that with us with hashtag BH Design the Box. And I can't wait to see those creations and get those voted with you guys here in a couple weeks. Thank you guys again so much for joining us. We absolutely love seeing all of your creations and your smiles. Post them on your Instagram or your Facebook. Make sure to tag us so we can see it all. Our Instagram handle and our Facebook handle are on your instructions. We love to see your guys' smiles with your arrangements. So don't just send us your arrangement. Send us you smiling with it because it warms our hearts. Love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.